everybody, and welcome to our top 10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, where this is our video where we go over some of the most exciting books coming out this week, but we do it pretty fast. This is our shorter show, which kind of give you the highlights of 10 of those books. So, I'm really excited, at least for my books, some great ones this week and some big surprises.
I had some surprising ones as well. Some ones that were ones that I didn't expect to be as good as they were.
Yes. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with one. No surprise here. Spider-Man issue number 11 was fantastic. So this is the issue we've all been waiting for. This is, for one, the final issue of this Spider-Man title, adjectiveless Spider-Man. But also, this answers 85% of the questions
Okay.
about Spider-Boy.
Nice.
What are his powers? Even powers, I'll say, even things we didn't even think we should question about him are explored and then answered. You'll see what I mean when you read the book, but just great. And I am even now more excited about the future of Spider-Boy in the Marvel Universe proper. Can't wait to see what adventures he goes on. But maybe, he got erased from time or got erased from people's memories. What happened to his villains too?
Oh.
So just a little hint there. Spider-Man number 11, big Spider-Boy issue. Don't miss this one.
So my first book is actually a last issue. This is a Daredevil number 14, the final issue of Chip Zdarsky's epic run of the last 4 years. Not a good place to start. If you're wanting to jump on Daredevil, wait another month for the new Daredevil number 1. This one was not a big action issue. It was more of an epilogue to everything that's come before it. But there was still some really interesting stuff. We see Foggy in a new partnership. We see Elektra still defending the streets as Daredevil and sort of understanding that role now. And we get a little mystery at the end that raises some questions that hopefully and probably will get addressed in the new series.
Awesome. Next up for me is Night Terror Superman number 2. This is the final issue of the Night Terror Superman story, and what I love about this one is it's written by Joshua Williamson, your main Superman writer. So this integrates into the ongoing Superman title as well, revealing some story points that will be continued there as well.
Nice.
Plus, at the end of the last issue, we saw that Aquaman and his family were not affected
That's right.
by insomnia. We find out why in this and set the stage for just some really awesome Aquaman stuff. Hopefully to come. We'll see. But they play a big part in this. So if you're a fan, don't miss this one.
Very cool. Next up for me is from Image. This is the Cull number 1, new book from Kelly Thompson. This is about a book. This is about a group of 5 different kids. They sort of sneak out to work on a short film. They find a cave that they want to shoot their film in and around. But what do they find in that cave, and how will it affect them?
Next up for me, Uncanny Avengers number 1. This one I thoroughly enjoyed. I wasn't sure what I'd think because, you got to be pretty deep in the X lore to follow what's going on right now. But this one takes place a little bit before the Free Comic Book Day issue, and then after we have Captain Krakoa, who we don't know who he is, but we know that something's up with him versus Captain America's new team of mutants and Avengers going up against each other. This is full of action. Just feels like some classic Avengers stuff, some classic X-Men stuff, all collide in this issue. So I highly recommend Uncanny Avengers.
Next for me is Harley Quinn Black, White, and Redder number 2. So this is another one of the Black, White, and Red books that have just 2 or 3 or 4 different stories in them, just anthology books. This issue was hilarious. Like the first 2 issues, I audibly laughed out loud at both of them. Harley wants a new origin. She goes to Zatanna for that. There's another story that introduces us to the Legion of Dominals, which is kind of like the League of Super Pets, but the bad guys. That story is really funny. There's a nice story about her sharing some pie with Commissioner Gordon that wasn't so much funny, but it was still really touching. If you enjoyed the first issue, you'll like this. If you're a Harley Quinn fan, you're going to like this. This was hilarious. It was the funniest book and one of the most interesting I read out of all these.
That's awesome. Next up, we have Void Rivals number 3. When I get this in my hand, I immediately read it. Goes to the top of my stack. And this issue was no exception. This is great. So, our two heroes are trying to escape from this ship that they found themselves on that was inhabited and piloted by a pretty deep cut Transformers
Mm.
character. That if you want to see what happens with that, you have to read this. Also, there is more kind of reveals in this of other uh, characters or things from the Transformers and slash GI Joe universe as a whole. So you will have to check this one out to find out what it is. But another great issue of Void Rivals.
So next for me is Alpha Flight number 1. This is going to be I think a 5-issue miniseries, and like you, I was a little bit curious about this because I only have a base level knowledge of what's going on in the X-Men books right now. I wasn't sure how much I would take on with this. This was actually really interesting as well. The non-mutant members of Alpha Flight are pulled back together to battle the mutant threat because mutants have been outlawed in Canada. They are trying to track down any mutant they can find, but they're met with resistance from the mutant members of Alpha Flight, or I guess the former members of Alpha Flight who are mutants. So they come to blows. It's teammate versus teammate. But this was actually really good. So if you're trying to catch up on all the Fall of X stuff, don't miss this one.
And lastly, for me, Dark X-Men number 1, another one I really enjoyed. So Madeline Pryor, who is in her Limbo Tower in New
Mm.
York, along with Havoc, uh, just after the Hellfire Gala, has realized the planet needs mutants, needs a team of X-Men to help the mutants that are on the run. And she is going to piece together a team of not so savory mutant characters to help save everybody. This one is really, really cool. It is dark, but full of action and full of really cool characters and some pretty major deaths in this one as well. So check this one out for more really good X-Men books this week.
Nice. And my last one is the next issue in the What If Dark series. This is What If Dark Moon Knight. And basically, this is what if Moon Knight had been killed by Bushmen. In this, that happens. He gets killed by Bushmen, and a new god, Ra, it bestows powers on a new hero called Luminary, some light-based powers. And what does she do with those? How does she go after revenge for Moon Knight? You'll have to read to find out.
Awesome. And that is our top 10 quick comic picks. So definitely head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre order any comics. You can order the comics we talked about during this show. Everything that you pre order, you get 10% off of. So don't miss that. And then stay tuned for our longer show. We're going to be going over about 20 books, their variants, and everything, going in depth a little bit more than what we did on this show in our following comic spoiler light show. So don't miss that. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time,
See ya.
bye.